Did you know that, oh, by the way, it's party time, Mom. Did you know that ice cream helps cure Alzheimer's?
Yes, I did. I have Alzheimer's run in my family.
Yep.
And
mine
that's
too.
one thing that we've been told by the nurses and the staff at hospice, different locations. That is a treat that you must have, no questions asked.
It actually keeps a person aware. Like if you have dementia or whatever, it keeps them kind of in that moment. And that's why Joe Biden has a $10,000 a year ice cream habit. Like every time you see him, the media's talking to him, he's eating ice cream.
Especially if you're able to find the ice cream to when they were kids to kind of match their, because taste and smell is so strong when it comes to remembering.
Yeah.
That's why he likes what? Chocolate chip.
I mean, I hate to laugh but like you can literally go to alz.org.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the actual website, and there's a deal. The power of ice cream.
Yeah.
There's articles out there. If you Google it or DuckDuckGo it, whatever you use, they actually talk about ice cream helps calm the symptoms of Alzheimer's and dementia. Very interesting.
I'm just wondering, why are you on a Thursday evening searching for what budget Joe Biden uses for ice cream?
Well, we were out there. I was getting a coffee out there in the Commons area, just out there hoping Glenn Beck might pass me by and say hi because I revel in those moments.
Did he?
No. I could see him. He's in a glassed off chamber over there.
Yes, he is.
Like hyperbaric, staying young. That's what rich people do. And our researcher, Rob Eno, came by, and we were talking about different T-shirt ideas for our line at chadonblaze.com. And he said that Elijah Schaefer of You Are Here, he and Sidney Watson's new show, which, by the way, is killing it live, which unfortunately is live at the same time we're on. Bastards.
No wonder.
Anyway, yeah. But that's a different demographic and a whole different group. But anyway, Elijah made the comment that ice cream cures Alzheimer's. And Rob Eno said, I want to put that on a T-shirt. And I was like, with a QR code that you could scan, and it would take you to the website. Like, put the QR code right on the shirt.
Oh, also, just in case someone says, oh, those are fake news.
Right.
You
it would take you right to the website that talks about it.
Dude, that's smart. Why didn't you come up with that, Mr. Apparel clothing line?
Well, watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is.
Not that shirt.
Not that shirt. I might steal it now. I might put it on there now. We'll see. You want to see? My shirts, the reason I do what I do is I like to start conversations. Sometimes, debates. And my mother always said, it's party time, Mom. My mother always said I should have been a trial lawyer because growing up, I just like to argue. I just like to debate, right? I like to have conversations with people. I like to trigger things. And so that'd be a good conversation starter. I'm going to start a conversation before we get huge into the next segment. We got stuff to talk about, but I'm going to remember I alluded last night to my new theory.
Oh, yeah.
I have a new theory. I'm going to bring it up in the next segment when I have a minute to just kind of flesh it out and talk about it. But come see me tomorrow night. Going to be in Fredericksburg, Texas. Going to be there and people keep asking me, and I keep forgetting the name of the place. Beautiful venue at Fredericksburg. It's going to be Enchanted Rock Ranch. Enchanted Rock Ranch. Now, doesn't that sound magical?
It does. And it's here in Texas?
It's Fredericksburg, yeah, down in the wine country. And it's an intimate, only 100 tickets, only 100 people total there. There's a few tickets left. It's going to be a very intimate gathering. We're going to have fun. And then we're going to have, then in Kerrville, Saturday night, going to be there with Representative Chip Roy. Going to be there with Texas House Rep Kyle Biederman. And love Kyle. And we're going to be there. I'm the keynote speaker. We're also going to bring the ragamuffins in. We're going to do a little singing and a little entertainment down there. So it's going to be fun. Somebody asked me the other day, I have a show coming up in Waco, Texas. And people said, is that going to be fun or just politics? Because we need some laughs. It's going to be some laughs, all right? Political laughs. How about that? And then I've got a show coming up. What's another big one? Lubbock, Texas, at the new Buddy Holly Theater on November 5th. The night before that, the day before that, November 4th, going to be in Lubbock. Going to announce where that's going to be. I can't remember the name of it. It is a gun range that has a classroom. And we're going to do a little rally there in their auditorium. It's going to be fun. Anyway, stuff coming up. Not so long ago, companies solely existed to provide products and services. Customers spent money in return for a product or the service. Almost overnight, everything changed. Many corporations have become vessels for anti-American and anti-family propaganda. Few companies have had the courage to stand up for America, for Christian values, and for our Constitution. One of the first was our friends over at Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile has the broadest nationwide coverage and uses the same towers as all the major carriers. So you get the same great service, plus they have plans to fit any budget. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team has the highest rating among wireless carriers, and Patriot Mobile shares your values and supports organizations fighting for religious freedom, the Constitution, sanctity of life, veterans, and first responders. Now, you got to remember, these big companies, they take a little portion of your bill, and they like to send it to these leftist causes. Like, what did we read off yesterday? All those big donors that were giving to Gavin Newsom's campaign. This is the kind of stuff. I want you to support a company that supports you, that loves America, that loves and shares your traditional values. PatriotMobile.com/Chad is where you go, or you can call them. Talk to a human being, 972-PATRIOT, PatriotMobile.com/Chad. We'll be right back. Yeah. All right. You ready?
Get vaccinated.
Here you go. This is my theory. I'm going to take it back to 1960. So let's give ourselves 60 years. 60 years of presidential history. In the last 60 years of American presidents and presidential history, I believe we've had 3 real presidents. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean people who were there, they got elected, and they were their own person. Like they were determined to lead. Okay? They weren't led by the special interests. They weren't the puppets on the string. And I'm sure somebody's going to come at me, because I'm going to tell you who the 3 are. And people are going to come at me and be like, oh, no, but. And maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm just fleshing this out, okay? But I think John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, and Donald Trump. Like the rest, I think, were completely controlled. I think that they were basically appointed to be in that place. They were completely controlled. They fought to be there. There's no question about it. I mean, the perfect example is 2000 election with George W. Bush and Al Gore. Of course, that thing got fought out for, weeks and weeks and weeks in Florida. But either one, now I look back and you flip a coin and Al Gore, George W. Bush, it's the same coin, right? Just whichever side it landed on. That's just me looking back at history. Don't hate me, just thinking out loud. But let's look at the 3 that I think were legit. John F. Kennedy, they killed him. The so-called special interests who helped get him elected, like he turned on them, right? Like he didn't just bow down to them. And they assassinated him. I say they, because I don't think it was one person, but that's another theory for another show. But anyway, so Kennedy got assassinated. You say, well, what about Ronald Reagan? Well, they shot him. He got shot. Has anybody else gotten shot in the last 60 years? No. So they tried to kill him. Failed. Donald Trump, something new has changed. You don't have to assassinate anybody. You don't have to assassinate people anymore. You just character assassinate them in the media. You just destroy them in the media. You make them be something that you create a narrative for them to be, right? So they effectively assassinated the character of Donald Trump. See, that's why this day and age, like Joe Biden, they love what they've got with Joe Biden, Ice Cream Joe. Because they can keep him in office because it doesn't matter what he's doing, where he's wandering off to, what he's stumbling over, what teleprompter he's reading. It doesn't matter. It's all white noise from the White House because he's a puppet. They're just getting what done. And that's why it doesn't matter. And even if Joe goes away somehow in some form, you still got a cackling idiot in Kamala Harris. She's just as bad as Joe. Like, she can't string a thought together. Any question you ask her, you're going to get that nervous laugh, that cackling, condescending laugh, like, I can't believe you're asking me this. I mean, it should be so obvious. I can't believe you're answering. Do you see what I'm saying, Chris? This is my theory. I'm going to continue to flesh this thing out. I'm going to do a history of the presidents. I'm going to look at who got shot. Abraham Lincoln got shot. Abraham Lincoln, which, by the way, one of my funniest jokes of all time. Not my joke, but one of the funniest jokes. And I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? I love that joke. Anyway, but Lincoln, right? Towards the end of the Civil War, they would send like fruit baskets to the White House. Now you got to remember, in 1860s, there was no fence around the White House. You just walk right up to the door. You just knock on the door. They'd send fruit baskets to the president. They would have to test the fruit because most of the time they'd send it was poisoned, Chris. Like Abraham Lincoln, like if you said, who's the greatest president of all time? Most people are going to say George Washington. And then usually people are going to say Abraham Lincoln. But even Abraham Lincoln, they were trying to kill, right? The Southern sympathizers, as in all of those folks, he was ultimately killed by a racist Southern sympathizer. And anyway, I'm going to develop this theory.
Can I push back?
Yeah.
Coolidge? You don't think Coolidge had a presidency that was not in control?
I like Calvin Coolidge. I liked Calvin Coolidge as a president. The man, in terms of his time, but I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and study this.
Okay. I like your theory.
But I'm just saying in the last 60 years. Like, to me, okay, and the reason I go back just 60 years is because prior to 1960, there was no real media coverage, right? That's why Nixon lost the debate, right? Because he was on TV and he was sweating, right? He looked nervous. It wasn't a good look for him. But prior to that, you didn't have the television debates. You didn't have the media extremes. You really didn't have the invasive media until the Vietnam War. And that's when you saw, like, firsthand the carnage of war, like it was brought into your living room. So that's kind of when we got into the shock of media. And if it bleeds, it leads. And so now I go back to that point because I think the media and the media's portrayal of, quote, leadership, political leadership, determines a lot of that, right? And nowadays you have not just big media, but you got big tech. And, of course, now we're seeing the medical tyranny with big medicine. I don't know. There's something to unpack there, Chris. I'm going to play with that in my head. I just drink a little more tequila, and I'm going to come up with a solution.
I think that you should drink some tequila, of course. I'm not going to say not to. But also, you think we should maybe talk to our friends, the Bartons, and you can flush that idea with the Bartons.
I need to get Tim Barton back on the show.
I think Tim needs to come back, and you flush out, and you guys can kind of like go back and forth, because this audience loves Tim Barton.
Knowing Tim Barton, he's probably got the bullet, right?
That's what I'm saying. He has the bullet, the gun, the bloody lapel, and the manuscript of why they got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you go across the street here at the parking lot, they actually have the lapel of the jacket Abe Lincoln was wearing on the night of his assassination. Crazy. Oh, I don't know. I'm just thinking. That's what I do, man. I drive a lot. Like yesterday, I'll finish. Like yesterday, I'm driving and crisscrossing Texas. I don't have the private jet on my gubernatorial run for 22. I don't have the helicopters. I don't have the private drivers. It's me in my truck. I get in the truck and I'll drive to my events and meet up with my team or crew that are there. And, but I'm crisscrossing the state. So I was in South Texas, and then I had to get to that event the other night, Tuesday night in Grayson County, Sherman, Texas. And I realized I had no clean clothes, Chris. I had no clean clothes. Now, I was coming from South Texas. To go to my house in Fort Worth would have put me 2 hours away from Sherman. So I had to just go straight to Sherman, or I would not have made it on time. So I had to stop at a store, and I had to buy a whole new thing. The only thing I had was a belt and a sport coat that I could wear. I did not even have a cowboy hat with me. I didn't even have a cowboy for it because I went to the event. I'd been at. I did not bring. I had a cowboy hat, but it was not a decent one. It was like a work hat. And anyway, I had to stop. And I even had to buy new boots. Like the last thing I need is another pair of boots. I had to buy another hat. Shout out to American Hat Company. I had to buy new jeans. I don't need any of this stuff. But this is what I'm saying. I am sacrificing, Chris, to be the governor of Texas. I really am. I am an everyday real guy. Get to know me a little bit. I mean, I want us to secede, but whatever. People say, why? Like, how can you fight? You've got shirts that say 1776 and all this stuff. Like, you don't care about America. You just want Texas to secede. No, I want people to understand. I want people to understand that Texas is the one state that still has the size, leverage, and power to actually get America back on track. Like, if we would leverage our independence and our sovereignty and say, look, D.C., you got to fly the damn thing straight again, or we're going to leverage our power as both a state and republic, then we get America back on track. Actual secession is it's like a last resort. But you have to make that part of the play, or America's not going to listen. D.C., the feds are not going to listen. I wish I could get this through people's heads. It's insanity. Mayor tells school board members to resign or be charged after saying the judge confirmed child pornography was part of the high school's college credit course. Have you read any of this stuff, Chris? Yeah. So the other day, a friend of mine's wife sent me some of the text of some of this, quote, pornography.
Have you seen the pictures? Not the text.
I've seen the pictures.
Oh, you've seen the pictures.
But I didn't know what she was sending me. And I was reading, I was like, what is she sending me? Like, there was no explanation. She said, thoughts on this. And she sends me this text, and I'm like, my buddy's wife is sending me
it's straight up porn.
Weird messages.
I remember when I was in high school, I had to send a sheet of paper for my parents to sign to watch The Crucible.
Yeah.
Now they're legitimately porn.
Yeah. And it's legit porn.
Yes, I love this mayor, man.
Yeah, so Mayor Craig Schubert, Hudson, Ohio, sat in front of the microphone, issued a brief but pointed public statement. Play it real quick.
Members of the board, my name is Craig Schubert. I'm the mayor of this city. It has come to my attention that your educators are distributing essentially what is child pornography in the classroom. I've spoken to a judge this evening. She's already confirmed that. So I'm going to give you a simple choice. You either choose to resign from this Board of Education, or you will be charged. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. See, people, I love it when people come at me and say, you have too many extremes. No. You got to hold the feet to the fire. I mean, this stuff, if you haven't seen it, you don't want to. If you haven't read it, you don't want to, but just trust me, it is graphic. This stuff is graphic.
If you're a parent,
yeah,
I want you to read it.
I mean, you need to see it.
You have
really
to read it.
You don't want to, but
yes.
I promise you need to. It's appalling. Like, I was reading this and I was like, what is this? I alluded to the show You Are Here with Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer. You can actually go to Sydney's Instagram, Sydney Watson. She's got a picture of it on her board of the animation of its males performing oral sex on other males. I mean, it's literally graphically showing this. Anime pornography, whatever that cartoon pornography stuff that they have out there, which is apparently like a whole genre of, or whatever category of pornography. Like, this is as bad as that. Like, this is just really brutal stuff. This is the world we're living in, folks. That's why I said it yesterday. I'm going to keep saying it till I am blue in the face. You keep giving power to these quote-unquote educational institutions that are really brainwashing your children. And listen, it's child abuse. You are allowing your child to be mentally, spiritually, sexually abused. I mean, emotional abuse. It's rampant. We got to have more mayors in America who are willing to stand up to these school boards. I can't wait to see what comes out of this. I'm anxious to see what comes out of this. I'm sure there'll be suit after suit after suit. And you know what's going to happen, Chris, is these Board of Education members, rather than resign, they're going to file suit against this mayor. Because that's what happens. Everything becomes, judicial. So they're going to file suit against this mayor in order to stay in place. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have approved this crap. They're the ones who have to be held accountable for this crap. So when I say you're sending your kids to this public education places, public schools, is child abuse, and you don't love your kids, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get your attention to say, get involved. Know what in the hell is being broadcast and pumped into your children's brains. Because again, this hypersexualizing of everything in our culture is just, it started small, right? Like you remember back, like when Friends, like I just take you in recent history, the show Friends, right? They put Rachel, what was her name? Jennifer Aniston. They put Jennifer Aniston in those kind of tight, skin-tight, provocative sweaters with no bra. And we thought that was just so risque on NBC. We'd watch that primetime comedy and we were like, ooh, I think, ooh. Like we started there. And now we got dudes performing fellatio on other dudes, high school buddies, like in your kids' curriculum.
Well, not just that, Chad. We have the film Cuties on Netflix.
Yeah, I can't even with this nonsense. And people came at me, man. Like I called out, there were a couple of like some of these dance studio documentaries where they were hypersexualizing these little kids and stuff. And I came out about it, and they're like, oh, you can't say things like that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because it all starts with a little bit, Marilyn Monroe's dress blowing up, and the next thing you know, we got fellatio on the playground. The warning signs are all around us, folks. At any moment, a big new catastrophe could be the start of something horrible. You know it. I know it. And it's happened before. It's going to happen again. Don't pretend anymore. That's why it makes good sense to prepare yourself and your family for the challenges ahead. You know what's coming. Use today to prepare. I want you to use America's #1 recommended preparedness company. That is mypatriotsupply.com. They're more than just an emergency food company. All the essentials are there. Water purifiers, air purifiers, emergency cooking stoves, fuel, heat, fire products, lighting and power products, camping, first aid supplies, you name it, they got it. In fact, when I get home today, I got to go put a bunch of that stuff in my little storeroom because I got a new shipment that came in. You can go to preparewithchad.com, preparewithchad.com, and that is a sexy web address right there, preparewithchad.com. Go get your stuff at My Patriot Supply. We'll be right back. All right. Man, my phone is blowing up with stuff. It's crazy. I've told you before, I'll tell you again, just FYI. If you're interested in, like, this is going to sound funny to say, but like if you're interested in things I do, like comedy shows or music shows or whatever, like from the entertainment standpoint of what I do not send emails about it requesting information to prather2022.com. like other people running for governor, they're not getting like it inundates our campaign staff with unnecessary emails. You can send that stuff to go to watchchad.com and send those emails there, or whatever. There's ways to get in touch with me. Because I have people who go, well, we sent out this campaign request, and blah, blah. Yeah, it got buried in 1,500 other emails wanting to know about what comedy show, what comedy club you're going to be doing, or venue you're going to be doing in Salina, Kansas. Speaking of Salina, Kansas, now I came out last week and I said, if a venue mandates a vaccine for you to attend a show, I will not do a show in that venue. Now, effectively, what I'm saying is I'm willing to end my career of live entertainment over this thing, if that's what it comes to. Because I'm not going to force anyone who wants to come to one of my shows to get a medical procedure in order to come. It's certainly, I'm not going to be a part of this mandate culture. So I got a message the other day because we were scheduled to do a show in Salina, Kansas, which I love going there to this venue. I've been there before. And somebody said, hey, you know that theater there, they're now mandating vaccines. And I said, I got on the phone with one of my guys, and I said, the guy who booked that, and I said, is this true? And he said, yeah, for now. And I said, well, I'm out. Just not going to do it. And he started telling me about different people, like my buddy Jim Brewer, who is former Saturday Night Live alum. He also came out and said he's not going to perform at venues requiring vaccinations. And so there's Jim. Jim's a funny guy, and I respect that. But he was on a Facebook Live post. I think Jim was actually on Joe Rogan recently as well, talking about this. I could be wrong there. But I think he was on Rogan recently. But he compared such requirements as segregation and said that he would absolutely not perform at any venues participating in the public health measures. 2 quick updates on shows that you may think you may be getting tickets to or you already have tickets to. He said the Wellmont Theater in New Jersey, not doing it. He said also Royal Oak Theater in Michigan due to the segregation of them forcing people to show up with vaccinations to prove you're vaccinated, to prove you've had a shot. I'm absolutely not doing those shows. So he said what these establishments are doing is wrong. What this dictatorship is doing is wrong. I know I'm going to sacrifice a lot of money. Yeah. But I'm not going to be enslaved by the system or by money, nor should anyone that wants to laugh or be entertained. He's got a wife who has stage 4 cancer. And he and his daughter and his wife have all had COVID-19. He said, I have to stick with my morals. He's 54 years old, by the way. He said, I have to stick with what I know is right as a human to another human when you have to be forced, bribed, dictated, which is basically what is going on no matter what your feelings are in it. I don't care if you're vaccinated. That's great. It's choice. I agree. He said he'd rather go bankrupt and make a stance and not segregate. If you try to segregate my audience or my following, I'm walking away. He said, if you have anything else to say, I honestly don't care. So don't leave comments going, oh, this is a good thing. I highly disagree with you, and I will always disagree with you. And that's the statement that I came out with. So my buddy, one of my agents, he said Brewers, he canceled. He was scheduled to be at this same theater I was going to be at, Salina, Kansas. So same issue, right? And anyway, there's various other comedians out there that it doesn't matter if they're conservative or liberal or what they may be. None of that doesn't matter. They're just, and I love the way Jim said it, I'm not going to segregate my audience. I'm not, the haves and the have-nots, right? The vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. And it's fascinating to me, first of all, that Blaze ran an article about this. This is where I read this story, is on, Blaze, and but they didn't bother to, talk to me about it, which is resident comedian, live entertainer, gubernatorial candidate, dealing with the same thing. But what do I know? Talk to Jim Brewer. He's funnier than me. But it's a real deal. Like I am willing to never go do a live show again over this, right? And I love being on a stage with people. Love it. It's one of my favorite things I get to do is being on a stage and hanging out with folks, having some laughs, entertaining. But I will never. I called my guy up and I said, remember? I said, do they still have us scheduled? Because we were going to do a coast-to-coast tour of Canada later this year. And I called him up and he goes, yeah, that's still on. I said, no, the hell it's not. For one ththing, if you go to Canada, like Allison, everybody knows Allison, she's from Calgary. She can't go visit her family because her dad's sick. She can't even go to there because if you go to Canada, it's a 14-day quarantine.
Still?
So you think I'm going in 14 days early to go do a 10-day stretch across Canada of live shows? No, I'm not. No, it's off. Done. I'm not jumping through anybody's freaking hoops. And we're certainly not going to mandate anybody get a medical procedure so you can go to a live show. Not going to do it. So anyway, the gal that owns the venue, the theater there in Salina, and look, I'm not picking on her, but it was just a dumb choice because it wasn't a city mandate, wasn't a county mandate, it wasn't anything. She just made the decision as a venue owner that that's the way it was going to be. Well, you want to talk about catching a ration of shit. Everybody in that community has just blasted her. She's going to effectively lose her business. Get woke, go broke. You're going to lose your business. That's the whole deal. So what I advocate for is if there are businesses out there, regardless of what type they are, if they're mandating vaccines, don't give them your business. Do not give them your business. Bro, I'm looking for more land. Like I'm getting out.
What do you mean?
Like I got to talk to the executives. I got to go remote. I got to go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like Mark Levin from an undisclosed bunker under the earth. We have made contact with our leader, Mark Levin, Mr. Producer.
He does sound like his announcer
I know.
from his intro. Was that you?
No.
Oh, hey, did you see what Jeff Dunham is doing, the comedian? He's doing a live stream for his show. For $20, you can watch his latest stand-up that he's going to be doing in LA.
I just can't do that. One, I don't have puppets, right?
Yes.
Dunham's a ventriloquist. Maybe if I had puppets. I have done live stream shows. Not the same.
Really?
Not the same. No, well, you don't get the feedback. Like, you don't get the laughs. You don't get the immediate response. And you're just kind of doing comedy into a vacuum, right? And so much of what I do is not like, I'm not a joke teller. I'm a storyteller. So I just tell funny stories with word twists and phrase twists that have humor to them. So those are the kind of things that I do. It's just not the same. And that, I just don't, I don't want to whore myself out to make money. Like, I sell what I sell. Watch Chad.com for all the fun stuff is. I sell what I sell. And I'm proud of that, right? Because, we do all that stuff. But, I'm just not going to go out there and just pimp myself out for a buck. I work hard. We work hard. We built, great businesses and stuff. And, we're blessed, man. We're fortunate that we can make a living running our mouth, right? I've done manual labor. I've done the physical labor. I'm happy that I can talk to you, and I have a fan base, and I have supporters, and I have friends that watch this show and listen to this show, or come buy a ticket and they come out. And there's no way that I'm going to punish you. You've supported me. You've been there. I've been high. I've been low. I've been. As the Apostle Paul said, I've abounded and I've been abased. Right. I've just learned to be content, and I'm just not going to go out there and pimp myself out. So hats off to Jim Brewer, and maybe we'll get him on the show to talk about this if he wants to talk about it. I mean, I doubt he does. I mean, it's a kick in the nuts is what it is. I mean, you work your entire life to craft, and by the way, comedy is a craft. It is a skill, and not everybody can do it. Trust me. But you spend your entire life, and then suddenly they say, no, you can't use that anymore. Can't do that anymore. We have to put requirements on your fans before they come in the room. Just not going to do it, man. Just not going to do it. That's a hassle. And it's also unconstitutional. But anyway, we're going to come up with a solution for all this stuff, though, for live entertainment, guaranteed. We're going to be a way around it because at the end of the day, it's untenable. It's unsustainable. You try to shut everything down and mandate all this stuff, ain't going to work. Just ain't going to work. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, so apparently, Pittsburgh area mother said her child was on her second day of school and received a phone call that her daughter had collapsed. That's scary. Unnamed child reportedly set up her desk with her school supplies and brand new bottle of hand sanitizer, and as directed by the administrators before she fell ill. Apparently, she drank it. Apparently, she drank the hand sanitizer. That's poison. That's alcohol poison. That's sad situation. She'll make a full recovery. But
what's interesting that the child was had a blood alcohol level of 0.23.
Yeah, those are Randy Travis numbers right there.
Yeah,
that's Nancy Pelosi numbers.
That's how she gets sober. That's how Nancy stays sober.
Nancy Pelosi. 97% of unvaccinated Americans who ended friendships during COVID pandemic view ex-pals as full-blown anti-vaxxers. Get vaccinated, Chris. Everybody get vaccinated, even if it saves one life. Use your umbrella, even if it keeps one person dry.
By the way, Jeffy, who's usually here like once a week or once a month, he would not talk to me because I'm not vaccinated. I went to see him. He's like, "Did you get your vaccine?" I'm like, "No." because he just got his second dose, so he's fully covered.
What's Jeffy weigh? 600-700 pounds?
Oh, more than that.
Like I don't blame him.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't blame him. I'd get vaccinated too.
But he's part of that 97%.
Yeah, other reasons for ending friendships wasn't just the COVID or the vaccine. Different political views, 16%. Dating or sleeping with an ex, 15%. like opposing someone, like losing a friendship over vaccinations versus sleeping with an ex. That even over making up rumors about somebody or being liars. That's the world we're living in, man. You remember when people hated Big Pharma? And now everybody just loves Big Pharma,
what
don't
is it,
they?
GMO and all that crap that we're pumping on vegetables and fruits?
Oh, my
But
gosh.
now...
And here's the thing, Chris. Like, the other day, Joe Biden comes out, and he's like, hey, get vaccinated. We're going to protect the vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, we got to protect the vaccinated. So basically, and I did a TikTok about this the other day where I said, what he's saying is the protected need protection from the unprotected. The vaccinated need to be protected from the unvaccinated. The protected need to be protected from the unprotected. So it does no good to really be protected if you're, in danger from the unprotected. Sounds to me like if I hold all the power by being unprotected, that I should just remain unprotected, since getting protected apparently does me no damn good. Jeffy.
And I love that now that we have this mandate,
unless you're a member of Congress, by the way, their staff is exempt.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's the whole deal.
Chad, we play this Nancy Pelosi, but I found this montage of compared to the beginning of the year till now.
Oh, yeah? Is it Joe?
Yeah. Oh, we have it. It's
Can we play it?
Really good.
Can we play it?
Oh, we can play it.
Play it.
We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do.
Needless to say, the right of women to make decisions about their own bodies is not negotiable.
No, definitely not. You don't want to mandate and try and force anyone to take a vaccine. We've never done that.
Our interest is very simple from the federal government, which is Americans' privacy and rights should be protected.
It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
We don't want to be mandating from the federal government to the general population. It would be unenforceable and not appropriate.
Perhaps the federal government should step in and issue mandates, and if not, are you putting the needs of unvaccinated people ahead of the needs of vaccinated people?
Well, I think the question here, one, that's not the role of the federal government.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory. First, we must increase vaccinations among the unvaccinated with new.
Yeah, it's amazing how the evolution has happened. Oh, don't let me forget. I need to feel guilty. Play me a TikTok. Give me that thing.
So the myth that we usually hear about adoption is that it's like a nice family adopting a child in need to give them a better life. As someone who was interested in adoption, I actually looked into stories from adoptees themselves, and what I learned horrified me. First of all, the history of the adoption system where I live in the United States is extremely colonial. It was built on a history of taking children of color from their families to give to white parents who could give them a, quote, better life, which is very racist, obviously. Our adoption system today still operates off that same implicit bias and racism. Black children, for example, are nearly twice as likely to end up in foster care based on their percentage of the population of the U.S. in total. Transracial adoptions are also disproportionately represented in these statistics, with 90% of transracial adoptions being white parents adopting children of color, centering this idea of white saviorship. We also redirect funds through the foster care system in a really fucked up weird way. Many families who lose their children to CPS just need more resources to be able to adequately care for their families. But instead, we take their children and we give those resources to foster parents instead of the kids' actual parents to help them.
Yeah, it's some colonial white supremacy right there. So Madonna, Angelina Jolie, Sandra Bullock, I want you to give those black kids back. All right? I want you to put those black kids back where you found them. Give them back to the Sudanese. All right? I want them back in Rwanda. I do not want them living in that rich, cushy life with your white saviorship, okay? So listen to me, Madonna, because she's got a black kid, I think. She's got, who knows? I don't know. I know Angelina Jolie does. I know Sandra Bullock does. Like, Angelina Jolie's got 100 of them. Like she's saving all the black kids. And so give them back. Put them back where you found them from. Don't make me go all PBIS on you. Is that the acronym on that? PBIS. Don't make me come over there and put your house in order because, white folks and stuff. This is a sign of colonialism. White saviorship. God forbid you give anybody or attempt to give anybody a better life. Chris Cruz. Are those foster kids in your house black?
They are black.
Oh, my God, Chris. That's colonialism, you white supremacist. Oh, wait. Doesn't quite fit.
And by the way, her statistics about the black community in foster care, last time I checked, out of 5 kids I fostered in the last 2 years, one of them were white. And I could actually tell they were white trash parents. But the rest of them were black. And the number one reason why they were in our care was because mom and dad were shooting up heroin and cocaine into their bodies, and the kids touched it, and they were separated from the parents because of the parents' decision.
There you go.
Not because of my wife and I went in there and said we could give them a better life. No, it was because parents made the wrong decision by using hardcore drugs in their system, and the kids touched it.
Yeah, you should have left those kids in place. You should have left those kids in there, and so they could grow up and have a heroin addiction as well. This is where we're at, Chris Cruz, you white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I'm so ashamed of you. Put those kids back in the desert, or wherever they came from. These people believe this shit. That's what's amazing to me. Like, this is their conviction. Like, they're out spouting this stuff. That's like, I don't know if you didn't watch the video. The girl had like yellow bangs or whatever. That's too much hair dye. It's seeping into your brain cells. It's making you mentally deficient. But you know what the solution is? Ice cream. Ice cream will get your brain. See how I brought that full circle? Ice cream will help your mental deficiency. It helps Joe Biden's. And apparently it helps Nancy Pelosi's as well. She just has expensive ice cream taste. Hang tight. We'll finish this thing up in a minute. All I want to say is get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. That is so creepy. That Joe Biden whisper. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. We're going to start just pumping subliminal messages in to your brain. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. You're going to hear that in your sleep. Like you're going to be in a dark room. You're going to wake up at 3 a.m. and you're going to hear, get vaccinated. Leave us a rating and review, folks. We deserve it 5 stars. Anything less is just a travesty. Here's one from Bethany. I listen to Chad every day. Thank you. I love the honest delivery of current affairs in our country. I always get a good laugh from the quick wit of both Chad and his usual guests. Thank you very much. Sunburned on the back of his legs. My legs are actually still peeling from that. It got burned pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, it takes work to work on that tan, which, by the way, is white supremacy. I saw on Fox News yesterday, there was a story where this custodian who comes out and these white teachers reach over to this black man who was the custodian of the school and they put keys in his hand to a brand new automobile. That is white supremacy. Like this white saviorship thing has got to end. I mean, the guy, he ain't giving the car back. Like he was praising the Lord over this thing. He really needed the car. But I'm sure if he thought about it, he would understand that he was just a victim of white saviorship. And get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Y'all have a good weekend. Listen to us all weekend long. We love you. God bless you. See you Monday. Talk to you then. Bye.